Hello buddies, and welcome back to this masterclass for the beginner in Python programming language. It's your guy once again, The Wolf, and today guys we are going to learn about Python sets. It's one of the data collection type just like tuple or dictionary. So without much ado, let's get started. Okay, so welcome once again. So I will start off by creating a file here, and I'm using PyCharm. Okay, no need for file because I can use this one here. So let's start by defining what this is. So to create a set in Python, you just use a curly braces or curly brackets, the same name. So let me just delete all this, and then so to do that, you just write my, you can say my set, whatever you want to call it, your set name. Can be any name that you want. For example, it can be packets, can be any name that you give, so you can call it that. So the set should be created like this, so you're using curly braces here, just like that, and then you can place something inside. So to do that, you just use a double quote there. So I just want to have a set of fruits, so as normal I'll have banana, then I can have you put there a comma, oranges. We can have lastly we can have, maybe let's say, apples, right? Apples, just like that. So what we have here, this is already a set. This is how we create a set in Python. So sets are normally used to store multiple items in a single variable. You can see that we have a single variable here called my set, and we have stored multiple items in it. So set is one of the 4 built-in data types in Python, and it's used to store collections of data. The other 3 are just like tuple, list, as I've already mentioned, and the dictionary. So all with different qualities and usage. So a set is a collection which is normally unordered and changeable and an index. So meaning you cannot access it using an index number. So what you need to note here is that set items are unchangeable, but you can remove items and add new items. So one thing also that you need to know, you need to use the curly brackets of the curly braces, whatever you want to call it, to create it. So let's create another one here and print something. Oh, already we have created this, so let me just print out this. So to print this out, you just use the print keyword here, which is the not keyword but inbuilt function or library. So this inbuilt in function is going to help us to print what is inside this set. So to do that, copy this, Control C on PC and Control V, yeah, there. So we can run this and see whether we have what our fruits on the console side. You can see them that they're here. So we have printed them out. And one thing that I'm actually, no, it's just okay. Okay, fine. So notice that set are unordered, so we don't have order. Like if you print this time around, for example, you can see we have apples, oranges, and a banana. You can see that they are not ordered. It should have printed something like banana, then oranges, then apples. But this is what we have. In fact, if we run the second time, we cannot have the same order. So you can see, so they are not ordered in any way. So you cannot even access it with, using an index. So and also these sets are unchangeable, and but they do allow duplicate values. So let's see on how they are unordered. Okay, so unordered means that the items in a set do not have defined order, and we have seen this already here. So let's set an item that can appear in a different order every time we print them out. So again, you cannot access them using index. So also unchangeable. What is the meaning of this anyway? So unchangeable actually means that the set items are they cannot be changed. You cannot change any items after the set has been created. That's what I mean. So once a set is created, you cannot change its item, but you can remove items and add new items. Also, duplicate is not allowed in sets. Okay, so set cannot have two items with the same value. For example, we cannot have oranges again here. If I do that, let me just do that and see what actually happens. Control copy that, Control V. Let's see what happened. Maybe you will print only one. Yeah, you see. So you cannot have a double or a duplicate in it. Again, what else? So for example, another thing that you need to notice here is that the value true and 1 are considered the same value in sets, and they are treated as a duplicate. For example, if I do something like this, in this or let me just Control Z. Let me just add something here. The true keyword, true, should be in capital letter, true, yeah. So this is an inbuilt already, and this is a boolean method. This is a boolean value. True means 1. So if I do this true here, and again I add 1, and again I add 2, so the true boolean data type is the same as 1. Or if I write false and then 0, those are they mean that they are the same type of value. So what do you think this will happen? Let me just print out true. So you can see 1 was not there. 1 is not printed out because true and 1 is the same thing. So notice that also the false is also under this concept. So it's also treated as a duplicate. Okay. Let's find out how we can get the length of a set. So to determine how many items a set has, we use the length method function to get the length of that set. So how do we do that? We just do a simple thing like this. So let's get the number of the items that are in here, and in fact let me just remove this one. Yeah, I can have those. So then in this I can use the function here, which is length, and just like that, and then I just want to go get the length of my set here. Control copy, Control V. Let me just delete this over here. Yeah, just like that. So if I print out how many items, 1 2 3 4 5, we should get 5 items. So you can see that we have 5 items here. So again, if I add that one here, which is the same as true, guess what happens? Control C. We will still have 1 because 1 you already know. Let's run it again. There you go. Still it's 5, meaning these are the same value. Okay. So let's see on how we can set items data types. So set items can be of any data types. So for example, we can have a string, we can have int, we can have a boolean data types in that set variable. So how can we do that? For example, we can have, so for example here, let me just remove this because this is a mix of number, and let me just come down here again. Let me create a set. let me just call it set 1, and then I assign values, so I can have a set of numbers, a set of strings, and a set of boolean values. So I can have numbers here. Again, I can also have a set of boolean types. So let's create set 2, and we can have again values of, let's say, true, and that false, and that we can have again false, something like that. So we can have different types of data types in a set, and also a set can contain different data types. Oh, okay, I've already said that, but what I mean here is that it can, the same variable can have different types of data types inside that. So again, I think we have already done that, but let's do it in a cleaner way. Let's call it set 3 or set 4, and we can have different types here. So we can have strings A, B, C, and then again we can have a number there, so we can have a mix of data types in that set. A set can have a mixed data types. We can have true, we can have again, let's say, number there, we can have again string. So you can see that. So female. So if I print this out, control copy, and I don't want, I can get the length, of course, or I can just print out. So just print the whole instead of set 4. V just means value, so I'll run this again so we can print everything out, so you can see that. So, and again, the type method, the type function can be used to manipulate or to find the type of data collections. So how can we do that? So type method or function, from Python perspective, sets are defined as object with the data type set. So it's normally done like this. Example is just normally done like the class, then the set. So we can ask a simple question like, what is the data type of a set? How can we do that? So we just create, for example, we have this, right? This one. Let's find out using the type here. So I can use print, then I write type, and then I get the type of data type. Data. Which one is this? Control copy. Let's just do this. Yeah, so if I print out, let's see which data type is that. So it's a class, and it's a set. So you can see that this is a set data type, right? So if I change this, for example, to bracket, sorry for going back, but I just want to use that so that you can see what we are doing here. So this is a tuple, right? So let's see whether we can have a class tuple. So run. Yes, you can see we have tuple here, and even we can have a collection. So yeah. So again, the set, we can use the set function constructor, and it's also possible to use this method or function constructor to make a set. So you can use a constructor to make a set instead of just specifying like this. To do that again, we just let me just remove all this. So I'm using the set constructor to make a set. So I can say this is this set. This is a variable that I've created. So let me just use the constructor. So the constructor is set. So to do that, again, you should now put your stuff in there. So note that the double round bracket, this one here, just notice this double round bracket here. So I can have my fruits in there. So I can have banana, I can have apples, I can have apples. Again, I can have more. So that is it. Again, lastly guys but not least, let's finish this off by rounding up by saying Python collections arrays. So there are 4 collection data types in Python programming language. The first one is a list, and there is a collection which is ordered and changeable, which also allow duplicate members. A tuple is a collection also which is ordered now and unchangeable, but also it allows duplicate members. Set, the one that we have learned today, is a collection also which is unordered. We have found that. And changeable, you cannot change that. And an indexed, for example, if you print using an index, the next time you print this, you get something different. The next time is a different thing. That's what we mean by an index. So again, to not duplicate member, no duplicate member is allowed in this. So you cannot have 2 banana there and then you count like they were 2. Those are the same type. So duplicate members, no duplicate. Finally, we have the dictionary, and there is a collection also which is ordered and unchangeable and no duplicate members. So guys, that is all for today, and hope that you learned something from this lesson, and hope that in the next lesson you will be there. Thank you so much, and see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.